Hi, I'm Greg Jenner, and I'm standing in the bowels of BBC Broadcasting House next to the Wreath Randomizer, my marvellous new machine named in honour of the iconic BBC boss, which will generate a clip from the BBC's archives from a random date from the past 100 years. And my challenge is to take whatever it gives me and connect that to the world of 2022. This is Past Forward, a century of sound. Time to push the Past Forward button and see where we go. Wish me luck.
Minutes of pretty nice stuff. It had astonishingly
Held me to renounce the throne.
Hi, Greg.
Oh, Megan, my producer. Morning.
Okay, so the Wreath Randomizer's given us the 1st of June 1939. The programme is They Speak for Themselves, reaction of the man in the street to the phenomenon of the Lambeth Walk.
Anytime you're Lambeth way, any evening, any day, you'll find us all doing the Lambeth Walk.
The song that half the world had started singing. To the song a dance was added, a dance that was half a walk, and it caught on as no dance has done before. Mass observers went to Lambeth Walk itself and found there, still in full swing, the happy-go-lucky Cockney culture of dance and song. To a world in crisis, this dance brought happiness. The really popular character of the Lambeth Walk came out in the vast success it scored when the London County Council introduced open-air dancing in the parks for the first time. At Highbury Fields, Islington, one evening the crowd totaled 20,000. As Eddie Cantor puts it in his rendering of the song,
"What a happy old world this would be if the leaders of nations would just agree to make their people forget about wars and teach them the Lambeth Walk."
Oh, well, that's lovely. I know the musical, Me and My Girl, and I think I saw it maybe 30 years ago as a kid. I know the song. I assumed it was written in the 1980s for a big musical that went out to the West End and won lots of awards. Maybe it was a big hit in the 1930s as a musical, and then it spilled out into the streets and people did it in the streets. Or was it an authentic song from the streets that then ended up in a musical? I love the idea of 20,000 people all trying to do the same dance. That's great. But I'd love to know who wrote the song, who wrote the music, who wrote the lyrics, and did it come from something real?
Greg, there's someone who was involved with the version of the musical you saw as a kid, and I think you might enjoy talking to him.
Okay.
Well, hello, Greg.
Stephen Fry, hello.
Here I am, and very happy to help out, if I can, in saying that, yes, it is a song from a musical, but like you, I always thought it was a street song. It has that quality of having been around forever. But it was composed by Noel Gay, and he wrote this musical with Douglas Ferber, who did the lyrics, and the standout song from it was unquestionably the Lambeth Walk, that was turned into a dance that swept the world in the late 30s. It's quite hard to overestimate how influential it was. My connection with it is that in the early 80s, Reginald Armitage, a.k.a. Noel Gay's son, Richard, was my agent, mine and Hugh Laurie's and Emma Thompson's. But he'd always had a yen to remount his father's huge 1930s triumph, which had run for many years at the Victoria Palace in London. And, the royal family had got involved, famously dancing the Lambeth Walk and giving that thumbs back over the shoulder, oi, at the end of it. And so we revived it. But the Lambeth Walk was the Act One closer and had the audience dancing out of the aisles. The phrase, I suppose, that we should take from the lyric of the Lambeth Walk is everything free and easy. Everything do as you darn well pleasey. And I think that's probably what Britain needed in the late 1930s, to be free and easy and do as you darn well pleasey. It's a pretty good aim in life.
And that's where our clip comes from. It's, Neville Chamberlain, it's tensions in Europe, and yet you've got 20,000 people congregating in a field to have a big old knees up and do a viral dance number. It's quite an interesting moment.